yeah. Okay, it's me again. So, topic of conversation. So, I was talking with a friend yesterday, and she had a ridiculously terrifying dream and phoned me because she knows that I'd been the past week been having quite a few terrifying nightmares, to the point where that you're in the middle of the dream and you're like, oh my god, there's just so much fear, and you have to it takes everything in you to kind of scream yourself awake so you can wake yourself up, and then you kind of try not to go back to sleep, or if you're me, you sleep with all the lights on at those moments. And it's interesting because I've studied Jung and a lot of other people about what dreams are. There's dream speak, Native Americans call them dream walkers, all that awesome yumminess. But what it came down to when I was checking in on her dream with her is, so in a dream, it's usually a place where we can integrate or let go of the things that we can't deal with on this side of the world. And right now, I'm sure there's a whole plethora of us all having some really great, amazing opening dreams and some really fucking scary ones going on. And they're all kind of randomly happening on us, and sometimes you're just not remembering, which is wonderful too. But the key to remember right now, what we're going through, is integration. We've had a lot of people talking to us about murdering the ego, or death of the ego, and death of this, or my other favorite one that spiritualists talk about is positive thinking. And there's nothing wrong with all of these, by the way. I'm not being a bitch and talking about them. But it doesn't take the thing all the way for us. Because when you're just positive thinking, you're denying that negative niggly thought. And what happens when we deny something? Well, we've all seen a temper tantrum child. It gets out of control and then it takes over. And we're really smart with our temper tantrums, so we'll find ways to sabotage ourselves. Overeating, denying, high sex, whatever you want to use to sort of soothe your temper tantrum, because you're denying your negative thoughts. So I'm not saying give them power either, because then we go the opposite way of depression and anxiety when we let those thoughts take over in that context. What it's all about is integrating. And it was really quite paramount when I was talking with her and looking at my own, is this denial of pieces of myself that I've had for quite some time. And a lot of times I didn't even know I was denying parts of myself, because I didn't even know it was part of me to deny, or that it was part of me to accept, or that it even belonged to me. And then I would then have this empty void that was in me that I would find things to fill with and be like, why am I filling a void? When what I'm really wanting to do is bring all of myself together and become a fully functioning human female person on this planet. And that's a process that I think a lot of us are going through right now. I know it's a process that I'm working through myself personally. I'm working through with my husband, because there's nothing better than having a loving partner help you recognize the things that you're ignoring, and the things that you're creating, and the things that you're not creating. And a big thing for me in denying myself is denying myself the ability to create. It's really what we're here, and that's the easiest way to start integrating all these bits and baubles that we have floating around us. But it helps us also wade through what pieces are ours and what pieces are other people's when we start to get creative with our lives and our world. So I'm not saying that we all have to run out and become artists. If we could, that'd be great. That's the kind of world I would love to live in. Would love to live with nothing but artists, because I understand that brain, because it's able to create in chaos, or it loves the color of chaos, and then it pulls this beautifulness from it. to a pinpoint perfection and tells us amazing stories about ourselves. Now, that's what we're all trying to do when we're integrating. And when we deny ourselves our dreams, our hopes, our aspirations, or even a coloring book, then we're not giving ourselves space to find who we are and integrate that into becoming a fully functioning human being. And that's my journey too, to be a functioning person on this planet. And that means a process of integration. I've been working on that for a really long time. And it's gonna be a really long time till I'm fully integrated. Or not. I don't know. Perhaps I'll just one day decide to give myself the space to do nothing but create. And at that moment I'll be like, damn, finally integrated. Got it, good, let's go and create more awesomeness. That's my hope. And that's my hope for all of us, actually, is to reach a point where we integrate everything. The things that we say we don't like about ourselves, the things that we say that we don't like about ourselves, by the way, is just your higher self in disguise. A very brilliant woman by Teal Swan said that the other day, and I went, thank you for the wording that I've been looking for a long time. So kudos to her for that. But it's really true. That, or that shadow, that darkness, that the demon or things like that, that's just us needing to have a hug in a polite way, or a lot more work, or something like that. But it's not, we don't deny it, we don't fight it, we just integrate it and move it in and work with it. And I'm going to speak as an artist again, because I like the analogy that I explained to a client the other day, that all good paintings need the light and the shadow to really give it depth and presence. So we need the white, we need the black, and once we master those, then we can start playing with all the colors on the planet. And I love color. I love complexity. I love the fascination of looking at an amazing piece of art or an amazing person who has so much depth and layers to them that you sit in awe and wonder as to what is before you. And when we start to integrate, then we get to become that amazing, amazing piece of art that is our life. And that's the creative process. And that's really what we're here for, is to become amazing, beautiful, creative, giving, in service, in love, juicy beings. And that starts with acknowledging the bits and baubles that we don't really want to acknowledge about ourselves, we don't want others to know about, and we start sharing them, and we start putting them back on our canvas and coloring with them. But we don't give them all of the space. We move them in, we use them as needed. I need my darkness sometimes to highlight the beautiful bright light that I've got, so that it doesn't blend into a white background. I need every single color of my personality so that I can be presentable and interesting to myself, mostly, because if I bored the crap out of myself, I really wouldn't want to be here. And I'd hope that'd be the same for a lot of you. I mean, a lot of people I know haven't started really diving into the depth of who they are. But we're really interesting people. And the more that you start to integrate all your pieces of your personality, the more interesting you become, the more complex. And I'm a woman, so I'm already naturally complex. But I want to be more complex, so I never become irrelevant, which is really cool. And that's integration. So that's the journey. I'm going to say it. I think that's our next journey in human evolution, is integrating everything that we know. We've been pulling shit out of our tickled trunk and looking at it, or throwing away, or murdering it and denying it, or positive thinking and manifesting and all of that good stuff, or crap, whatever you want to call it. But now it's time to go and look at what we've thrown on the floor and go, That's mine, that's mine, that's mine. And I'm going to move it in here. I'm going to love it. And I'm going to use it to strengthen up and make myself this glorious, awesome, light angel human being that I am. So I can move in the world without fear, without having to sit in a survival mode, but really start to thrive. And then through integration, I can become a creative, solution-based being that is here to serve and help everyone. That sounded like some good shit. Anyways, have a great day. I am at my destination to work with some awesome people. And everybody else have a great day. So go start loving those dark corners and start seeing what colors are in your canvas.